Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Gordon Maston, and you are listening to the DIY Wrestling Podcast. And this is the first one we're doing under the DIY banner for Lucha Underground. I don't usually do tweets for Lucha Underground under the DIY. Well, not tweets. I'm sorry. I haven't done a DIY podcast yet for Lucha Underground. This is my first, and I'm sorry I have not been around for the past 2 weeks. And I promise you, and me being up here until 4:23 a.m. it shows that I am willing from here on out 100% to the next, I don't know, 36, 35 episodes of Lucha Underground for the rest of the season here. Now, I'm also sorry if this episode of the DIY Wrestling Podcast is, rather short, because Lucha Underground is only an hour, and some of the matches are rather short, and there's only so much I can go over, and the story is basically what I can really elaborate on most out of anything, just being by myself and having a 1 hour show to really work with here, so I'm kind of sorry about that. Alright. So, if I remember this correctly, because I'm going up a straight memory here at this point, we're going to get into the show. But yeah, if I remember this correctly, if there is anyone, or anything that I happen to remember happening here first, it was that we had Sexy Star in the locker room. And she was basically sitting there, and Dario Cueto basically walks up to her. Excuse the yawn here. Dario Cueto basically says to her, "Hey, you've had that Gift of the Gods championship for a little while, and it's funny that either way, it's a lose-lose situation where she can keep defending that championship and not get a championship. You gotta get a championship match against Matanza, or she can not give up. She can fight Matanza and get slaughtered." Now, I honestly believe that they are probably gonna just tell her, "Hey, look at it, Sexy. You gotta fight it." I'm pretty sure Dario just basically meant, "Hey, tick tick, you got to do something with that championship eventually." So, I mean, not a bad way to start the show here, but if you want better, Johnny Mundo walks in, basically says, "Hey, I don't ever think we formally introduced ourselves. I'm Johnny Mundo, next Gift of the Gods champion." And at that point, we're basically on a bad note, because that's where we stand at this point, as I'm looking at everything else. Okay, so moving on here, we move into the ring next, and I believe we had 3 matches tonight, and if I'm forgetting what, oh wait, 4 matches tonight, and cinematics, if they come in a lopsided order, I apologize. So, I know the second one exactly, going after this match. We go into the ring, and then we get Prince Puma versus Sinestro de la Muerte, and Prince Puma beats Sinestro de la Muerte. I can't even get Sinestro's name right. Sinestro de la Muerte. With Mil Muertes' finisher in the flatliner, because Mil was standing right there, and as he did it, it's like I'm just sitting here playing with my hands, and as I crack my knuckles, I'm just staring at you. Well, you can't even do it, because I just cracked my wrist. I'm sitting here staring at you. For those in the video version watching, I have to also remember this. But I'm just gonna say this right now. Puma doing a flatliner, looking straight at Mil Muertes. I don't know where this is exactly going, but I do know this much. Mil was not going to attack. Puma was egging him on, and Puma is being the aggressor here. I don't know how much just blindly attacking Mil Muertes until you get a match, if you get a match, is a good idea, because you do know Katrina is the brains behind that big. Excuse me. Between that she is the brains of that big mammoth-sized piece of brawn. Now, at the same time, Puma could just get his match, and if he does beat Mil, he could still get destroyed at some point, because after De La Muerte loses, oh wait, no, this next cinematic is next, then the next match, then that cinematic. Okay, so De La Muerte loses, and then Puma after the match dives onto the Mil, and they start brawling. After that, Mil throws Puma in the ring. Puma eggs Mil to come in the ring where he was just thrown, and that was basically that from there. Katrina told him no. And I've said this before, and I will say it again. I just love Katrina, dude, because you know that she has something planned. And after tonight, with Sinestro's consequences were for losing that match, you know he's in some deep shit. Okay, but anyways, moving on to season. Not season. What did I say? Season. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. Moving on to the next thing that happens here. We move into Dario's office, and we get Cortez Castro walking in, and he basically says, "Oh man, I'm sorry about the death of Francisco, man. Like, you gotta understand. Like, if he was here, we like you know, Dario playing the bullshit 'I'm sorry' act, which is not legit. Because as if you follow the story, Dario knows Cortez is a cop now, and Joey Ryan, who was known as Officer Mayhem, he kind of joined the other side. Other side being Dario. Now, with that being said, let's look at this. Dario, he kind of knows, and he's not gonna just have him killed by Matanza. Like, no. He's going to torture this man. I'm pretty sure at some point with this broken arm, he's gonna have to fight. And he's just gonna keep on torturing him, and then he's just gonna have Matanza kill him at some point. I don't know. That's just the way I see this going down. But it's like, you know what? Like, he's playing with him like he's bait right now. Like, not like he's bait, but you know, you guys get what I'm saying. If you've seen this, you understand where I'm going with this. But Dario says, you know what, man? He's like, I understand that. And then he hears his name get called out for a ring introduction by Melissa Santos, and he's like, by the way, I have a very special match assigned for you. So he's like, this could mean big things for you if you win. Knowing he wouldn't, and no, like, this is what I love about Dario Cueto. And like, this is one of the very few things I love. Like, he's not one of those guys who says, like, I can bring out the best of my my talent. He just knows if you're shit, you're shit. And he knows how good you are and how good you're not. And he sees Cortez, and he basically tells him, hey, you got a match. It's a very special match. And once you see Pentagon, you know shit is going down. So Pentagon Dark comes out, beats the living shit out of Cortez Castro in, say, less than 4 minutes. Hits him with the package pile driver for the end. 1, 2, 3. Pentagon wins. And I'd say it's about solid. I'm sorry for the yawn once again. And then basically cuts the promo and says, no one's in control of me. No one's in control of me. I'm Pentagon Dark. He said, not even my own. He's like, not even my own mother. Like, long story short, in this promo, he's Pentagon Jr. Not Pentagon Jr. I'm sorry, Pentagon Dark, and he's his own man, basically. At the end of the day. And I don't remember this word for word because I was reading subtitles, and that should be an excuse. But at the end of the day, let me just say this, and I tweeted this out. I know I said I didn't tweet much, but I tweeted a couple things that wasn't really worth going over before this because I just really wanted to jump into it. Pentagon's delivery, his delivery, like, and I know you don't understand it unless you read the subtitles, but his delivery in Spanish is better than half the guys' delivery on the WWE roster. Like, Sasha Banks, as a face, your delivery is just so off. Like, ugh. But Pentagon's delivery in Spanish is better than yours right now. Bailey, his delivery in Spanish is better than yours right now. Nia Jax, I know it just seems like I'm ripping on the women. Roman Reigns, His delivery is better than yours, dude. Like, so many people need to just get their shit straight. Fucking. Oh, God. I can't even, like. It's just so bad. So bad. Okay. But after this, we get Katrina around, like, the little area that they have for Mil Muertes. In Sinestro de la Muerte. And we haven't seen Katrina with Sinestro until her and Mil walked down to the ring for that match before Puma hit the flatliner for the win. They basically seen Sinestro and you failed Mil for the last time, and snapped his neck. Katrina sucked the soul out and sucked the soul out and gave it to Mil, proving that Katrina is nothing but a fucking succubus. So, I mean, with that being said, we kind of figure out here that uh, Sinestro's dead. Mil is, I guess, stronger because he has technically all three souls of the disciples of death within him now. Barrio Negro and I forgot the Barrio Negro and Trece are now dead, and they were, their souls were basically taken in by Sinestro. So Sinestro is now dead, and all three of the souls practically are taken in by Mil. So he now is inhabited by all three souls of the disciples of death, and I don't know if it'll make him stronger because none of them were really useful unless Katrina got involved within the matches. And if that's the case, I don't know where we stand right now. Like, I don't even think this really did anything for Mil. I just seen it as Lucha Underground saying, like, okay, the disciples never really worked out, so let's just kill him and feed him to Mil and Katrina, which honestly was not a bad idea. But I mean, hey, they were trios champions at one point, but it is what it is. So I guess we can just move on here. Up next we get the trios championship match. Not the trios championship match. I forgot what they call this, but it was basically a 4-on-4 between every member of the Worldwide Underground and as Matt Stricker calls them, Super Friends, Aerostar, Phoenix, Drago, and Sexy Star. Aerostar, the team of Jack Evans and the Worldwide Underground going to win this. And you know what? Jack Evans has his jaw wired shut, and it's sad because the man can't talk right now. I mean, it's really bad. Like, the man, like, he can't say a word. So he's making up, and this is how good of an all-around performer Jack Evans is. The man is making up for it with flippy shit. He's just flipping around and not really doing anything in the ring. He's coming in and making tags to, like, just do little things. And they're hiding the injury while Jack Evans is making up for shit with his flippy shit. And it's amazing. Now, when Jack is able to talk again, I'll be happy. But you know what? There was something that's presented here. If anybody knows, Jack Evans pinned the Gift of the Gods champion. Jack Evans pinned the Gift of the Gods champion, being Sexy Star. And hey, she pinned Sexy Star. He pinned Sexy Star. So technically, Jack should be in line for a trios championship, not for a trios championship, for a shot, right? Right? Well, what if they actually do, like, show us that Jack is injured and, like, his jaw's wired shut, and, like, they do something with Dario, and this idea was presented, and this is why I thought it was cool, so I'm going to bring it up, and I'll give the credit where credit's due to John and Ashton of TwitWow. For anybody who knows Lucha Underground, you have to know them, so no reason of explaining. But Jack can't explain that he's the one who, like, he said, like, he didn't say that Johnny said he could have give the guy's title shot, and then Dario, being as big of a dick as he is, all right, Johnny, you got your title shot finally, whatever. So, hey, Jack is the man at this point. Jack is the man, but most likely will not get a title shot out of this. Is the way I see it. Honestly, it was a solid match. I mean, nothing to really write home about. Like, Okay, and the one thing I can say is probably the biggest gripe I have this season. Like the only like oh my god match we've really had is the Weapons of Mass Destruction match. Like other than that, we've had solid matches, but like Lucha Underground isn't like really known for just solid matches. Lucha Underground has done way better before. Like they've put together better matches before. The problem here is everything this season seems to be like story driven more than like last season. They were like last season, and from what I know from season one, they were putting on good matches and telling stories. It seems like everything this season is so story driven, and what goes on in the ring does matter to a degree, but then again, doesn't really matter because the story is the more important thing. And I get that, but last season I was so happy with everything that went on or in ring, and then with the storytelling. Um, Lucha Underground, I don't see this as much of a problem right now, but it's a 40 episode season, so I can't really just jump out and say, "Oh, well, the matches have been shit." Like I can't really do that. But what I can say is, um, I think it's time to, at some point here, we kind of get it in gear and get the match quality back to where we know it can be. Because at this point, the only bonkers match this season has been Weapons of Mass Destruction, and my appetite for violence is not quenched, my friend. Like, my thirst for violence is not quenched, guys. Okay, so with that being said, we now move on. Yeah, and I'm trying to think if there's anything that we have before this main event. Okay, so the main event is Chavo versus um El Dragon Azteca Jr. for the right to fight Pentagon Dark. I believe it's next week. I think. Yeah, I think it's next week because both of these guys have a gripe because Pentagon broke both their arms. Um, he broke Chavos to jump into a match to get a world championship shot, which he got the pinfall to get. He jumped into El Dragon Azteca versus Black Lotus break Black Lotus's arm. He did that. And not to break Black Lotus's arm. That came after. I don't even know why I said it now. I'm so damn tired, people. To break El Dragon Azteca Jr.'s arm and Black Lotus's arm. So they both had a gripe. And Rey Mysterio had to be the special guest ref because Rey didn't want El Dragon Azteca fighting Chavo. But at this point, Rey doesn't really want to have problems with El Dragon Azteca and have him go rogue, and then really get into some deep shit, and then really end up either getting his arm broken like the original El Dragon Azteca, or dying at the worst. So I mean, long term, I guess Rey really just at this point. I mean, So I mean, Rey had no other choice, is what I'm basically saying. But yeah, that was basically about that for the show. But then wait, we have the cinematic after the show. And Chavo versus El Dragon Azteca, not really much of a good match, and I didn't really expect it to be much of a good match. I just expected El Dragon Azteca to get the win because I don't really see any real interest in Chavo versus Pentagon Jr. I'm so sorry, Pentagon Dark. I don't see any interest in Chavo versus Pentagon Dark at all. Now, Pentagon versus El Dragon Azteca, that's a different story. Because you have the element of, well, uh, Pentagon just killed this man, or, well, what do you call it? Will he be close to getting his arm broken again and Rey have to save him? And I don't see Azteca getting mad if he gets in position to have his arm snapped, but I kind of see Azteca saying, I could have handled it, I could have got out of it. Like, I could just see him being prideful and saying, Rey, I appreciate you, but I don't need you. If something happens, let it be a learning experience. But Rey can bring up the fact that, learning experience. You've had your arm broken by him once before. Why'd I let it happen again? Like that kind of thing. And I don't. It's just a no to me, man. I just don't like it. I really don't. Okay, so with that being said, uh, we move on to the final cinematic here. And the final cinematic is Black Lotus and the Black Lotus Triad, who are finally here in Lucha Underground, and they basically make the statement of, you know what, I was kind of confused with this. I was kind of confused where this is going, as to she was saying, you know, we're basically gonna get revenge. Like we're gonna get revenge, and I can see her causing big problems for Dario down the line because she had to basically serve as his personal ninja. Oh, I'm sorry, his personal security. I only called her a ninja because that's what Joey Ryan called her, but his personal security, you know, to stop people from, you know, running up on him and trying shit. Even though that never really happened because if you really think about it, Matanza is a thing. Now, um, I don't. I guess they're going after Pentagon. The one clear thing I knew is they were going after Pentagon, but I think she might be going after El Dragon Azteca Jr. too. So, all we know is the Black Lotus Triad is on its way to the temple, and I don't expect to see them for really at least 2 weeks here. At the least 2 weeks. If we see them next week, that'll be better than I expected. But we won't see them for about another 2 weeks. So, all right. But I think that's about it. I think that's as far as we're really going to go here this week, and that's basically the end of the episode. So that's as far as we can go. So I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of Lucha Underground. Remember to leave a like on this video if you already haven't. Subscribe if you're not subscribed for more of that Lucha Underground goodness on my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching, and see ya!